Hello, friends. Welcome to Akulmac Live. My name is Chandrakant. Today, we would like to discuss something about cybersecurity and why it is becoming so important. I think there has been a lot of attacks recently, and there are attacks being organized by even state players. So I don't want to talk too much in detail about that, but various agencies are being targeted. And if you are a SME owner or a startup dealing with B2B or B2C clients, then you're definitely under lot of lot of threat of your data being stolen or copied by somebody else, specifically for those people who are actually dealing with end client. And if there are regulations about maintaining data of the end client in their data servers, and if they lose that data, there are a lot of legal liabilities. So this is a very, very important subject we want to discuss. Before we start discussion, a word on our giveaway. Akulmac works with many SMEs and startups world over, helping them in not only building their sales and marketing teams, but also help them in improving their success rate. As you can see, we have summarized our years of knowledge into these easy to follow steps, which can be used by any smart leader to promote their group or a company. In order to encourage people to take the right step at the right time, we have used this proprietary graph in our corporate memorabilia so that the knowledge can be accessed by whoever, whenever, wherever it is needed. You can become eligible to get one of these beautiful gifts delivered to your doorstep for free. All you need to do is to subscribe our channel and smash that like button. Also, please watch this entire video and provide your valuable comments, suggestions, or you could also share your experiences. Person with the best comment and interaction would be chosen to become a free recipient of one of these displayed items here. In addition, we would invite you to Akul Mac Live to participate in our show as a distinguished panelist. What are you waiting for, friends? Go for it. Now, let's get back to our discussion. So, friends, let me introduce our guest today. His name is Mike Bradley. He is the Chief Strategy Officer of RHF and Scale Up Arena. He's joining us from UK. So, without further ado, let me present Mike to you.
Good afternoon, Chandra. Good to see you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mike. And, we always have a lot of pleasure talking to you and discussing business aspect. So today's subject is about cybersecurity, what it means post-pandemic. And so really, I'll tell you exactly where I'm coming from. There are a lot of SMEs and startups who are jumping into producing different types of apps. And app is the mantra today, where they want to go and offer different services to their clients. And therefore, cybersecurity is becoming very, very important because the client do not have trust on these app producers. So we will revolve around this aspect of cybersecurity. Like to know your opinion on this.
Okay. Yeah, and of course, it's a very, very, very relevant subject. And the old adage that I always heard about as a client on security and this sort of thing is, if it's too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. So I think the first thing is, when you're offering a service, if it appears to be something that is an amazing deal, something that should usually cost $1,000 now costing $10 for a limited period, chances are that's not a safe and reliable service or product. So, the first thing is obviously to be cautious around that sort of thing. And I think it becomes so prevalent that we come across security issues now. And I've actually informed my own mum, my mother, who's sort of in her 80s. I said, assume everything is a fraud. If you get sent a link by email chances are, unless you're expecting it, don't click it because it will take you somewhere you don't want to go. I had a, for instance, myself yesterday. My credit reference agency sent me a note saying a credit check has been done on your account, on your name. If this wasn't you, you can report it and get it looked into. So I followed all the links and things through my secure app and found that actually somebody had used my previous address. I'd not lived at for 4 years, and decided that I was Mrs. Michael Bradley, which I would like to tell you I'm actually not, and used that false name, used my previous address that was no longer current to make a formal credit request on my name. And for me, how I considered, well, how coincidental is this, that this request has come a day after the retail stores have reopened. So I think it's a very relevant subject. And as you say, there's a lot of SMEs and startups offering apps and services, ways to buy things online, trade online. And we have to be very, very cautious when, as customers, we are using those services. And as you rightly say, how do you determine the credibility of a supplier? So I think it's a very relevant topic.
Well, Mike, the real crux of the situation right now is that markets are opening up in some countries. In a country like India, markets are now going to be shut because we are now waiting for a second lockdown, a major lockdown, because of the cases suddenly started increasing exponentially. So considering all that, there is a China element, things happening between state actors between US and China, and recently you might have heard about the solar wind farm being hacked by some state actors in the US. So can you imagine a solar wind farm being hacked? And apparently the solar wind farm guys had kept their login IDs as solar wind 123. So it was very easy for anybody to hack into. Now, considering all that, there has been an attack on you. You explained. I think there are probably 100 emails all of us are getting today, and they are selling all kinds of things with very suspicious looking links which are being sent. So first thing you have to do is you have to be diligent enough and delete those. The second thing is that even if you pick up a call, there is a threat of your identity being stolen just by answering a incoming call on your mobile phone. Correct. So considering that, I think there is a big opportunity for startups and SME to get into cyber security arena, and without getting there, there will be no trust factor between their client and the services that they are providing. What is that you want to say about it?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and of course, trust is a major thing. I mean, the other thing is suppliers have to be reliable. I had a situation last Friday, so this is 2 within a week, right? Last Friday, I needed to contact Microsoft to sort out all the different accounts I've got, and O365 and sits here and sits there, whatever. And I booked a call with Microsoft to phone me back on Tuesday at 9 a.m. UK time. So I scheduled the call, and then I get a call back from Microsoft by return. So not 3 days later, and he goes, "Oh, hello, I understand you're wanting some support from Microsoft, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Yes, but I'm not expecting this until Tuesday morning. How do I know that you are genuine and you're from Microsoft?" So actually, in the end, I didn't share the details because he wanted to do one of those remote control, take remote control of my machine to sort it out. I thought, I don't trust you, mate. I don't know that you are definitely from Microsoft. So, things like that, even a large company like Microsoft, they schedule a call, but then they don't keep to the schedule. Immediate alarm bell rings, and as you rightly said, hacking onto a solar wind farm. I was on a chain of discussion yesterday on LinkedIn about something. I think they're calling it an eSIM, which is a way now to have a soft SIM in your phone, so you never have to sort of change the hard copy SIM that you have. It's a electronic, which sounds great. We never have to worry about fiddling around with the corner of the phone again, putting in a new SIM card because it's gone dark. However, isn't that a much more hackable element? How easy would it be for somebody to hack into an eSIM, pretend to be your service provider, and grab control of your device? And these eSIMs, of course, can also be used, I think, in things like autonomous vehicles. I mean, cybersecurity in the IoT world is so fundamental. Nothing is safe in tech without major security and cross-checking on IoT devices. I was aware of come aware of a service which is patented now, but it came out of British Aerospace, is a way to secure IoT devices based upon a patented mechanism that was used in the Second World War to avoid the ability of somebody to pretend to be someone. Yeah, so you have a double check mechanism to ensure who you say you are, and I think that's what we need for IoT. We've got it for banking, of course, where you have sometimes to have a code on your phone and use that online to go into your service. I think that's going to happen everywhere. We have to have a double check each place. And then, of course, I don't know what it's like in India, but certainly within the UK, there's also a giant potential liability on people's data privacy. In the UK now, I believe there's between a £1,000 and an £8,000 liability on a company that maintains and retains privacy data. So if you're a B2B retail business, and you're holding 100,000 clients worth of banking details, you have a potential liability for that detail of up to £8,000 per data entry. Ginormous. And the average SME fine being levied against that breaching is £125,000. Not a lot of SMEs can afford that sort of fine. There is good news. There are, of course, services that help you to avoid that. There are also ways that you can protect your company by having that liability in your balance sheet or in your profit and loss account, so you can actually defend it. But it is a major issue. I think fraud and security are the single biggest dangers we face in our electronic world these days.
Well, Mike, there is another issue that suppose you are a app provider and you are in the wellness space, for example, or you are in an EV space, or you are in a retail space, as you said. So if you don't have a proper security mechanism to protect the data, obviously there is a liability on them. At the same time, I think we are sitting on a big opportunity. And when you are coming from scale-up arena, you work globally, there are a lot of players who may be able to provide, cybersecurity, because all the cybersecurity professionals have been already taken up, or rather gobbled by the banking and financial services because of the regulator pressure. So for the businesses, there is not enough availability in the market, which can be plugged in by the cybersecurity specialist companies. What you have to say for these kind of opportunities to the network that you have?
Yeah, I think there's a huge opportunity again there, as you rightly say, not only to sort of support companies to assess their liability and to offset that. There's also, for example, we have a service on Scale Up Arena, which is available to companies that are holding significant amounts of PCI data and payment compliance. And apparently, the majority of companies are being charged a fortune for their PCI compliance testing, but the majority are not actually PC compliant because it takes a view, a bit like a balance sheet. It is a view on a particular day, and then it's audited, and then it's approved. But tomorrow morning, it might be non-compliant because something has changed. And consequently, this ongoing mechanism of monitoring somebody's compliance, that's what the service that we have on Scale Up Arena will allow to do. And that particular company can actually provide an ongoing payment compliance mechanism for a fraction of the cost of the single entity view. So yeah, there is opportunity. There are major opportunities in the space. Like I say, I think because it's the biggest challenge, it's also the biggest opportunity. The trick then becomes credibility of suppliers. And so, the good news is with that particular one, they're already in use by people like Barclaycard. Okay. It's been developed out of a very large multinational environment with a lot of skill. So consequently, it can help with that. If any companies out on the network are concerned about their payment compliance or the cost of or their liability for, then that's, we have a company that can definitely assist in that area at reduced cost, but also with the ongoing compliance capability. We also have another service on Scale Up Arena, which helps with compliance and document and agreement qualification, if you like. So it's an AI-based tool that can help with document compliance. So it will rapidly and accurately assess liabilities in an agreement, in a document, in a compliance document. Again, another service that can help with this whole nightmarish environment that we're moving into. So, the other area, of course, we help with Scale Up Arena is that we try and bring together these credible, reliable services with potential clients and prospects. So, we do that through lunch and learns, through briefings. The problem is a lot of companies don't know what they don't know. And so one of the things we do is offer these lunch and learns and briefings and one-on-one sessions where it's not a selling exercise, it's actually an education exercise, because people need to understand the impact and potential danger of these things. It's no good waiting until the data compliance people come knocking at your door saying, you've had a breach, you've lost 50,000 clients worth of information, we therefore want N million crows worth of fine from you. That is a bit too late to save the company. And also that then becomes a PR issue as well, because normally that sort of finds its way into the press, much to the joy of the competition. But actually what you need to do is preventative rather than cure. Prevention is better than cure when it comes to payment, data, customer compliance, and security. So, ignore that at your peril, both from a personal and a corporate perspective.
Well, I think this is a great advice, and I'm sure there are viewers who are listening to this conversation and realize that there is a huge potential for partnering with Indian companies, because India is a very large marketplace, and even US is a large marketplace. So these are two large marketplaces where Scale Up Arena can help you find the new clients, especially if you are doing business in the cybersecurity space. So thank you, Mike, for speaking with us today. It has been a great
Been a
learning.
pleasure.
And we'll catch up
Been a
next
pleasure
time.
as always, Chandra.
Absolutely, Mike. It's always lovely to talk to you, and especially you live in such a beautiful beach township, and I see a lot of these pictures.
Very nice. I'm not on that beach today, but it is sunny and warm here, but not as warm as Delhi, to be sure.
Absolutely. So let's heat it up, viewers. If you're listening to this conversation, go to scaleuparena.com and sign up. There are a whole lot of opportunities waiting to happen. So, Mike, thank you so much for joining us. We will catch up again next time.
Look forward to it. Take care, Chandra.